What is up, guys? This is your boy Zilla, and welcome to today's episode as I'll be giving my predictions on the next PS5 event, most likely coming later this month. But before I do that, please hit that subscribe button, also hit the notification bell so you get a notification every time I make a video, guys. Let's get into it because Sony is on a roll right now after Xbox has pretty much face-planted itself with the delay of Halo Infinite. Sony is in the driver's seat, and we've seen multiple rumors on how Sony is gathering up different exclusive deals with these different companies. So what are we gonna see, or what is the idea of what we're gonna see at this next PS5 event that will launch us into the next generation? First, it's been heavily rumored that the next God of War game will be revealed somewhere in August or at the September event, depending on which Sony moves stuff around, but it'll be at the next event, and that it will be coming out in 2021. Now, there are cases for and against this, and we're gonna start off with the against because the development pipeline would be really short if they were doing a complete reimagining or overhaul like they did with the first God of War reboot game. And I would think it was a little bit too soon to show, and I think God of War would want a tight campaign, maybe 6 months of marketing before the game comes out, rather than what they did with God of War, having it shown like 1 or 2 years prior. So I think they want to have that big shock, that big oomph to get the PlayStation fan base riled up and ready to buy the PS5 a little bit almost after a year it comes out. Actually would be probably come out on the year anniversary of the PS5, making a great selling point for Sony to get all those people in the middle that have not bought a PS5 in the first year to convince them to buy it and switch over from the PS4 ecosystem. But do I think we're gonna actually see God of War? I think not. I think they're gonna save that for maybe a early 2022 release date, or not release date, but a show off, and then come out mid 2022, or even get showed off in late 2021 as Horizon Zero Dawn, or after the release of Horizon Zero Dawn 2, and lead Sony into that second year of the release of the PS5. So after that, what else are we gonna see? I think we're definitely going to see PS4 upgrade games being a vocal point of this conference, being that PS5 games are a little bit not in the place where they need to be, probably because of the pandemic. They're going to show off a lot of high fidelity 60 frames and over games that they have in their catalog, especially with The Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima, and having their graphical fidelity just boosted all the way up to 11, and showing us off the difference between the PS4 and the PS5. That is a safe bet. Then we might see Fortnite, which is, I know, a little bit weird to see it, but Sony's gonna try and get that market space since they have invested in Epic Games, and they're gonna try and get people conditioned that the PlayStation is the best place to play Fortnite. So I think we're gonna see that, and maybe a 1 to 2 minute trailer, which brings us to our next mystery of this conference. Are we gonna get the PS5 price reveal? And I'm leaning towards yes, after Microsoft has had to delay Halo Infinite, the biggest game that is coming to the Xbox Series X in the first 2 years of that console's life cycle. Sony, I think, is in a prime position to use the value argument against Xbox, since they don't have any games to attract to that platform, leaning on their back catalog with Game Pass, which leads me to believe that Sony's price point for this console is going to be $500, and they're going to make the digital edition $400 to incentivize you to use the PS Store so they can make more money, more of a bigger cut, take out retailers like GameStop and Walmart, and get you used to buying games digitally. So once you feel like you feel all the convenience of it, you'll never want to go back, and it'll change the industry as a whole of how much PlayStation or Xbox are going to make money off these royalties. So now let's get to another Sony franchise that went away quite a while ago, but is hinted to be getting revived by a very special studio, and that is SOCOM and Guerrilla Games. We know that SOCOM is kind of been hinted, it's been heavily rumored for a couple of months, and we know Guerrilla Games is working on an unannounced FPS game, which could be Killzone, but is most likely SOCOM because they hired Rainbow Six Siege director and animator onto Guerrilla Games, which really tells me that they're trying to make a more realistic style game, i.e. SOCOM. So are we gonna see it at this event? I think we are not, but I think we might get a tease at it, and it'll probably be a big game coming mid 2022 once the development of Horizon Zero Dawn 2 wraps up, and then they'll send all those developers to push SOCOM out in a mid or holiday 22 release date. So now let's get to our next game. Are we gonna see maybe even a tease of Square Enix's Final Fantasy VII Part 2? The game is probably gonna win Game of the Year for this year, Part 1, and Part 2 will probably be one of the most anticipated games between the 2022 and 2023 window. So are we gonna at least see a tease at this showcase? And I think not. I think it's way too early. I think if they're gonna overhaul the game a lot, I think that we are not gonna see it all for the next 2 years. But if it is gonna be somewhat similar to Final Fantasy VII Part 1, then we might see a tease at next year's conference for a 2022 release. But I think what we will see out of Square Enix is Final Fantasy 16, and I think it'll have a year exclusivity deal, and a lot of people are rumoring that Final Fantasy 16 is Project Athia, and if they are together, then I think it will definitely be an exclusive for the PS5 wholly. But I think they are separate projects, and I think Final Fantasy 16 is going to have a limited time exclusive for a year, which is really not limited, and Project Athia will be a pure Final Fantasy exclusive to the PS5. So then after that, are we going to see the Harry Potter game that has been rumored and has been leaked for the past 2 years? And I think we are. Just to quickly get this out of the way, I think we haven't seen the game from Warner Bros. Because they've been going a lot of restructuring in the past 2 months, or really 6 months, as they are getting ready to sell themselves to the highest bidder. And I think this Harry Potter game is most the way done, and it's going to be show off at the PS5 next, or really the next gen PS5 event, for probably both PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X, and maybe Xbox One, so they can get the widest, market capital, because Sony just, draws everybody's attention. So after that, are we gonna see The Last of Us Online, or what I'm dubbing Last of Us 2's faction mode that's coming out separately from the campaign? And I think it's a really weird question, because we have seen leaked, we know it's real, but the scope of it is still somewhat an unknown entity. But if it is large scale, it might be a launch multiplayer title for the PS5, and will probably be one of their big selling points at the launch of the console. But do I think we're going to see at this next conference? At the stage that they're in, I think we are going to see. I think it's almost finished up its development. So after that, are we going to see Horizon Zero Dawn 2 gameplay? And I'm going to have to straight up just say no, because I think they're going to save that, Demon Souls, and Ratchet Clank for their own state of plays between now and 2022 for all these games. So after that, it comes the big mysterious titles, and that is Metal Gear Solid Remake. Are we going to see this game? Does this game exist? Is Hideo Kojima working on it? And we know that Konami has been, closely associated with PlayStation, but in the terms of Metal Gear Solid, I think the deal is still being finalized for the game to start development. But if it is being made by Kojima, the creator, this game is probably 2 years out. And if it is made by Konami, purely by the people left there from Kojima's team, but the ones that haven't moved over, then I think this game will come out in the first year of the PS5's launch, which would be mid 2020 or holiday 2021. But my prediction is that this game is not in development, and if so, I think it is a couple of years off from completion, and we will not see at this conference. Now, something we will see at this conference is Silent Hills. 100%, we know it exists. It's pretty well a ways in development, and I predict it to be a launch title for the PS5. And I think it's being developed by Hideo Kojima and his team, a reboot of the Silent Hills game that got canceled so many years ago, and we will finally see it in all its glorious detail. Now, the final thing I want to talk about here is something that is surprising, but at the same time is not, and that's Miles Morales' demo for that game. We have seen no gameplay at all. It's slated to come out with the PS5, and with Halo out of the way, having a gameplay demo at that conference would just be stellar and would blow everybody away with the new PS5 technology and putting Xbox's games to shame. And I think we're going to see maybe a 10 to 20 minute demo, and it will be coming out in holiday 2020. But guys, this has been the best Gojira in gaming news. Make sure you hit that sub button. Also hit the notification bell so you get a notification every time I make a video, and I will see you guys next time.